Come in close. Because the more you think you see, the easier it'll be to fool you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
for our final trick,
we are going to rob a bank.
On the count of 3, you will be teleported through space and time to your bank in Paris. 1, 2,
3. Everyone in this room was a victim of hard times.
Some of you lost your homes, your cars,
And so tonight,
We're going to return some of that money back to you.
Now, moving on to this next movie right here, Now You See Me, which this is one of those movies that makes me angry.
For real?
Mm-hmm. It does. It does.
I don't blame you.
I was really upset at the end of this movie for two reasons, and I'm not going to really say what they are now. But I was loving the premise to this film. I mean, you have 4 magicians who are like the X-Men, pretty much, because they all have their own special powers.
No, everybody's copying the Avengers formula.
Yeah. You got Jesse Eisenberg, who is what would be his magic power?
Well, I don't know.
Street magician.
Street magician.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, because the other guys were street. He was already doing shows.
Yeah, he's
They don't necessarily
he was doing stage shows.
You know what? He's an illusionist.
Yeah.
And then you have Woody Harrelson, who's a mentalist. It's just another way of saying he's a hypnotist.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then-
he's both hypnotist / mentalist.
You have Isla Fisher, who's an escape artist.
Right.
And then you have Dave Franco, who is just a he's a crook.
He's a street magician.
Yeah, he's a con man. He's a crook. He
is a con man.
Yeah. So these guys, they're all in the middle of some of their great acts. They get this mysterious tarot card telling them that you all need to meet in one shitty apartment where we managed to put this Star Trek space age hologram in.
Nick Fury is there to greet them.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all are not the only magicians in New York. But they're told to put this. By the way, I don't know how they do this. A hologram. They're told to put the blueprints in this hologram together, and you will know the secret of why I've chosen you. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, they start doing these stage shows.
Cut to 1 year later.
Yeah, 1 year later, they start doing these massive, big budget produced stage shows.
Magicians.
They got some guy in Vegas played by Michael Caine to produce their show, but they seem to have some other motive for doing their shows because all of a sudden, they with nobody knowing this, they turned into the Robin Hood magicians. They're giving back to the audience, but nobody knows why they're doing this.
Or how.
Or how. Oh, that's the biggest thing. Or how.
Because they're actually robbing they say, we're going to rob a bank. And they do a trick. And, as you find out, they didn't do it the way they made the audience believe it happened. But there's no question a bank was robbed of the precise amount that they gave to the audience. So, and they're going, yeah, you're right. We did it. Prove it how we did it. It's like, we did it by magic. Go ahead, prosecute.
Yeah, they say, really, go to court with that. Magic. See if they don't laugh your ass out of there. And that brings in other people. Morgan Freeman plays one of those magicians who likes to go around and just fuck it up for everybody.
He likes being a dick.
He's like, I'm going to make money by showing people how you did it.
Yeah, he's a debunker.
Yeah, he's a debunker instead of just being cool, And
he's Archie debunker.
Anyway.
He's a little crappy.
But the one that I was loving in the movies is Mark Ruffalo, who is just a befuddled cop because they continuously, these magicians just make a straight up fool out of him. These magicians are Bugs Bunny and he is their Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. He was reminding me of Michael Shannon back in a Premium Rush.
Oh yeah. No.
Him and Inspector Clouseau.
I see what I love about this movie. What I absolutely love about it is the humor that they have. I mean, it's almost cartoonish, and to some people they're not going to like that. I'm going to tell you that because when I say that they're making a fool out of Mark Ruffalo, it really is Looney Tunes. I mean, it's every time he tries to capture them and they get away, he does turn around like, "Oh, you magicians!"
He's like the Wile E. Coyote. Shit's always blowing up in his face.
Well, the thing is, I think it's hard to pull that off in a way that isn't to the point where it just turns you off. That Buford T. Justice, where you have to kind of believe into it, and I think he does a good job at that. As a matter of fact, I came to this movie like before it started. I was like, great. All these movies about magic, they just blow it up to where it's just so complete science fiction, and it's going to be like, we got you. But I don't know. I found like the writing to be really funny, and it moved fast, and the tricks they did, I'm like, you know what? these are exaggerated, but they're based on tricks I've seen before.
Well, that's true, but there's also, I mean, I thought as well, though, that right from the beginning, the movie starts with, something that's not real, which is the idea that mentalism is as powerful
Sure.
as the movie assumes it is. Like, you can hypnotize people. I mean, that's all bullshit, right?
Yes.
First off. But
Pretty much science fiction.
But I like the fact that the movie starts by letting you know this is the kind of movie this is.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
it's illusion, but it's the fantasy world of
Sure.
illusion that it's more powerful than it is. And as long as that's out of the way, you're more willing to buy more from it. And that helped me get into it.
It forces you to make your decision on either you're buying this or you're not. And the fact if you don't want to buy this, you're probably not going to enjoy the movie. But if you do, come along for the ride and we'll entertain you. And that's exactly what the movie did. It entertained me just because of the crazy hijinks, especially with these characters where I got about as frustrated as Mark Ruffalo because every time he talked to these guys, they were the biggest dicks ever. Even like I felt like they were talking to me the whole time.
But they were lovable dicks, like Tony Stark.
And he was
Oh, don't say that.
well, he was kind of an aggro asshole himself. So the fact that they were like, as Jesse Eisenberg says, the best thing is you have to always know that you're the smartest guy in the room, and that way you always win. You're like, I love that shit, man. He's like this magic Sherlock Holmes fucking with everybody. I love that.
And it worked.
Yeah, I love that these magicians were fucking smug because because they could back it up.
Let me warn you. I want you to follow. Because no matter what you think you might know, we will always be 1 step, 3 steps, 7 steps ahead of you. And just when you think you're catching up, that's when we'll be right behind you. And at no time will you be anywhere other than exactly where I want you to be. So come close. Get all over me, because the closer you think you are, the less you'll actually see.
I'm gonna nail you to that.
First rule of magic, always be the smartest guy in the room.
And that's another thing I loved about it, because when Mark Ruffalo had to take shit from them, he'd go to Morgan Freeman, he'd say, okay, you help me out with this. And he's like, oh, you're an idiot. You didn't know how they did that?
Shit.
Somebody give me a straight answer.
I know. It's like everyone's spoken riddles to in the damn movie. Like, all right already. How can you not be as frustrated as Mark Ruffalo? Seeing is not always believing. All right.
The biggest strength is, unlike a lot of films like this that are kind of con-oriented and that, it's a big grift on the audience as well as various people in it, is that it knows how to have fun all the way through.
Yeah.
Because it knows it's just for fun. And it's one big action scene after another that involves using illusion and big tricks. I mean, it's just the way that when they explain it, there's no big, long explanation. It's like, bang, bang, bang. That's how they did it. Okay, next thing. There's one scene I thought was terrific where it was just one of the magicians versus the cop in a straight-up fight. And this guy's got so many little tricks he's learned.
that was
sleight
awesome.
of hand that he's using to fucking kick Mark Ruffalo's ass. I was laughing my ass off through the whole thing.
It's making me say the words, Dave Franco was awesome. You'll never hear that again.
Even though I still find it funny that he was still sort of barely in the movie.
It is weird. I was starting to notice, wow, he's sort of hardly in this.
Yeah,
but then he has a big moment.
Because even though the one thing I'll give it credit for is that the chemistry that all these magicians have. Because honestly, once they go to that room to find out, okay, who is this guy that hired us? It becomes a heist movie, and then it becomes Mark Ruffalo's movie more so than the magicians. And the thing is, the little screen time that they have together, you do feel that sense of chemistry that all these guys do have as a team.
Yeah.
But it is another one of those movies where you're seeing how these things are happening, and it all has to deal with magic. So you're already swallowing that little pill, but then towards the tail end of it, the movie wants you to swallow a really big damn pill.
It goes like, oh, well, if you took all those, here, put this huge straw in your mouth while I blow this gigantic force field out.
You're right. If we go by your analogy here, 3/4 of the movie is saying, take 2 of these small pills and call me in the morning. Yeah. Next day you go see the doctor and they come out with a boulder and they say, now swallow this.
And by the way, it's going in your ass.
I don't know. This is the suppository.
I won't disagree with this, the sentiment of what you're saying, but I wouldn't say it's the last quarter. It's more like the last sixth of it.
I don't know, because there was a point where I started to question the movie. Now, Louis Leterrier, who he directed the last Hulk movie, and what was that Danny the Dog movie?
He
was
directed the one that didn't have Mark Ruffalo in it.
That's right. He said, I'm going to work with Mark Ruffalo one way or another. And he directed Jet Li and Unleashed, which I thought was a good movie.
My favorite Kung Fu movie.
Also had Morgan Freeman in there, too.
That's right.
But I thought he directed this movie. I mean, he kept it going.
He did.
I don't know who his cinematographer is, and I don't know how much influence he had on it, but the direction of the action and his camera work that he just kept moving, I thought was amazing.
And you said the word right there, moving. It is constantly moving.
Oh, the pacing in this is incredible. However, when we get to the script, I think that script is also equally amazing until it gets completely lazy. That for a script that's written by 3 people. Okay, so this is my problem. Now, I'm not spoiling anything, but this could potentially ruin some stuff for people, but I swear to you, I'm not spoiling anything. But they set up so many things in this movie, and it's so tightly written. And you're thinking about this. I mean, you're saying, man, this is a lot of fun, and they're doing a lot of clever stuff. I don't know how they're going to explain this, but it's so smartly written right now. Oh, I know you got me. I know you're going to explain it all in a nice, intelligent way. No, because the movie sets up all this stuff, and it's almost like they don't even know how to solve it. So they say, let's just do anything to get ourselves out of the corners that we painted.
Oh, yeah. The writers were the best magicians because they tricked my ass into thinking this was going to be a great movie.
I don't know. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you on the whole, but I still felt like there are some clever things going on all along to hide the twist, implausible as it may be, that reminds me, that seems like with characters and what they were doing, the way what they were showing you was very much the act of magic, that distraction. Hey, look over here while we're actually doing the real trick over here. It's like kept pulling you character ways to, you're watching one guy really closely and you've been watching the wrong person the whole time. I appreciated the way that came together. It's just that the twist as it was so wildly implausible just by the actions they had that character take that we watched them take through. It's like, well, why would they do that if this ended up being this way? But that being said, I kept thinking of something as I was walking out of this film, as how I felt about it as a whole. And I'm reminded of the David Fincher film, The Game, which is this big, fast, exciting mystery that you're just glued to. And then the end, there's that moment where you go, you're either going to be really mad or you're going to start laughing hysterically and go like, fuck it. That whole thing was so much fun. I don't care. That ending being that implausible just almost makes it better. And this isn't quite up to that level, but it did feel like that to me.
Yeah, because Cyrus, I wasn't laughing. I was walking in the theater going,
see,
damn it!
I just never took it seriously.
It was so much of it that wasn't to be taken seriously that I didn't get that angry about the ending. I didn't even get mad. I was more like, I was hoping you weren't going to go there.
They could have done it better.
Yeah, it could have done it better. Yeah. But at the same time, like up until it got to that reveal, I'd had so much fun. I was like, oh, I can't stay mad at you.
Yeah,
come here.
Exactly.
I couldn't.
Because there was a point where it started early for me. There was something where when the police were chasing these guys and they did something, I said, wait a minute, why would they leave there and why would that work? That doesn't make any sense. And I said, well, okay, but they're going to explain it. And then it got to the point where when they did the big reveal, I said, that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And they did this. What obsessed me about it is that they just did this because it was out of convenience. It was almost like saying, well, we don't really need to explain anything. Yeah. We did all our work for the last 3/4 of the film. Now, you know what? Let's just give you a routine ending right here.
It made no sense. It would make no sense in the real world. And sorry, but it still wouldn't make sense in this magical Star Trek world that they built up. I mean, yeah, 'cause it is one of those movies that I always hate where when they do the reveals, you can't help but go, man, okay, number one, that is lazy. But number two, you just deconstructed the entire movie with this last quarter of the film, where everything that I enjoyed.
I don't even think
really
deconstructed is the right word. It's unraveled. They're unraveled.
Well,
everything
I
that they did.
Deconstructed is like it pulled it apart, and I was like, man, why did they do that?
Wait, you think of deconstruct and unravel as two separate things?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, because when I say deconstruct, you can actually pull something aside and make sense out of it. Unraveled is once you realize what's happening, it all falls apart. They everything they set up that seemed to be really clever and smart in the beginning, when they put that at the end, you say, okay, wait a minute. Now that you told me this, I'm going back and looking at it's pretty much a magician who showed you his tricks. And the thing is, the tricks are even dumber than what they begin with. You made me feel stupid. They make you go back. They make you go back and look at everything. You say, no, wait a minute. if that was the case here, then that means that didn't make sense back there, and then that's part that I like didn't make sense there. This whole thing is
The
ridiculous.
greatest trick this movie ever pulled was making you think it was better than it was.
Well, by the way, I'm still using the word deconstruct, but
I told you not to use that word.
Hey, that's my people's word.
Yeah, I'm taking it back.
No, I mean, it really did ruin the movie for me. It's one of those things where I can never watch this movie again. You know, I feel if I saw the movie again, I'd see it for what it really is, a really badly written movie.
I could watch it again because I love Mark Ruffalo in this. I thought he was great, and you're right. I thought that all the actors in here were great. Everybody is just taking jabs at each other. Everybody's so smug, and everybody thinks that's the strength of the movie. Everybody thinks they're one up in everyone else, whether it's because of ego or whether it's because of bravado or whatever. I mean, everybody thinks that they're pushing somebody around. It's not like that. I think that's clever. I just won't look at it the same way again. I'll be like, wow. I look at it almost with a sigh saying, well, that was really cool when I saw it the first time. Nah, that's stupid.
I don't know.
Because you know the trick.
I can't say it's a badly written movie. It's a really well-written movie with a very muddled plot. And that's the worst thing I can say about it. I mean, the plot is completely muddled. There's points all the way through you're like, I'm not really sure that makes sense, but fortunately the movie goes, well, look over here, let's do this instead. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, that's fun, okay.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is all snappy and funny. I mean,
yeah,
I
it
can't count
is.
how many times in this movie I laughed out loud, either at just how clever it was or how straight up funny it was. Great chemistry between these leads, very well directed. I mean, this is a movie that's really good that could have been absolutely great if they had just thought out the core structure a little bit better and where they wanted it to go
They
to.
need to fix the foundation. I mean, really, because it seemed like I guarantee you somebody went in and punched up the character dialogue in this more than anything. I mean, because just
bravo to whoever that was.
Yeah, whoever was it.
I need to
give
work
them
on more movies because
I give them credit for it.
All that with the fast pace and the chemistry and especially the punchy, the funny dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want from so many movies that just don't deliver. And I'm like, man, if you could pull that off, you pretty much got me for the most part.
Agreed.
I mean, you okay, you kind of fucked up the ending, but not enough to kill it. Not enough to make me look back at everything and discount it because that was awesome.
I think that dialogue is amazing in here. The only person I didn't think was good was Cosette or whatever from Inglourious Basterds. What's that?
Melanie Laurent.
Melanie Laurent.
Yeah.
She wasn't even really.
Well, it was in the whole film. She was that one.
She was a red herring.
Yeah.
She was that one piece. Yeah, that was a red herring, and that she just didn't feel like she fit into everything. Like there was so much tight chemistry going on. Everything's moving so slowly, but everything they gave her to do made the movie stop in the water just so she had a chance to deliver her lines.
Yeah.
It seemed forced too. A lot of her motives that they try to give her character. I was like,
How can you really make sense out of that?
Yeah.
What I won't say what they put it there for. They put it there for a very weak reason, a very weak subplot in my opinion, and
Unnecessary subplot.
yeah, they didn't.
Oh,
yeah, they
completely.
really didn't need that. So, man, I can't wait for when we do this spoiler show again. But I really feel bad saying this because I think there's a lot I admire about this movie, but the way that it just turned on me at the end, I'm giving this a high rental. Wow, really high rental.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sort of the opposite. That even though the end, like I said, it disappointed me more than it made me angry. I didn't feel angry at all, but I had such a great time. I give it a low full price. It really did entertain me that much.
You don't mean that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was thinking it was one of the more enjoyable films I've seen this year until that point where it did indeed start to become unraveled. It starts to lose its way, and you go, well, I would have done it differently, to be sure. And I think that maybe this was one of those like, well, we have this release date. You guys are going to have to fucking finish this script. I don't know, but there's so many great moments in it, like the Kane Mutiny, one of my favorites. But
The Kane Mutiny, goddamn.
but I had a lot of fun. This is a low full price.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spill Crew, you see this matinee right here? I'm going to put in this hat. Presto, changeo, rearrangeo, peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Pull out the rental.
Yeah! Am I the only one liking this?
I was like, what did you say about a pretzel? What?
I love that trick.
Oh, no,
hey, Coles, do it again.
I'll be here all week, Court.
Hey, Leon, the rabbit's in his pocket.
There's no rabbit.
Whatever is about to follow, whatever this grand trick is, is really going to amaze. Look closely, because the closer you think you are, the less you'll actually see.